On September 6, 1952, a farmer in Graves County lost his 8-year-old daughter. He heard screams and ran out of his home with his shotgun. He knew his daughter was in trouble. By the time he got there, all that was left was the doll she carried wherever she went, blood-stained and torn. Next to the doll was a tentacle-like appendage still wriggling and thrashing, slapping the ground and kicking up dirt. What he found would disturb him for the rest of his life. The following is an excerpt from a letter the farmer sent to senators, congressmen, and even the president, demanding help and outlining what had happened to his daughter. I reckon I'll never forget that night. I was sitting on the porch, smoking my pipe, when I heard a blood-curdling scream from behind the barn. It was my little girl, Jenny. I dropped my pipe and ran like the devil was chasing me. When I got there, I saw something that made my heart stop. There was Jenny's favorite doll, all ripped and bloody, lying on the ground. And next to it, a big old slimy tentacle, still wriggling and twitching. I thought for sure some critter had got my Jenny and dragged her away. I followed the trail of blood and slime with my shotgun ready, hoping to find her alive. There was a big old hole in the ground, and a bunch of blood and guts all over the place. And there they were, these little critters, no bigger than a watermelon, but with all kinds of tentacles sticking out of them. They were tearing into something that looked like it could have been my Jenny, but I couldn't tell for sure. It made me sick to my stomach, I tell you what. I grabbed my shotgun and fired at them, hoping to scare them off or kill them. I hit one of them right in the head, and it popped like a balloon. But the others didn't seem to care. They just kept on eating, like I wasn't even there. When they had their fill, they started to move, real fast, into the cornfield. I didn't know what to do. I was afraid they'd come back, or worse, that there were more of them out there. I ran back to the house and locked the door. I don't know what they were, or where they came from, but I know they ain't natural. And I know they ain't welcome here. My poor Jenny. Them critters got her and took her away from me. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about Jenny, and how I failed her. How I let those things take her from me. I didn't even get to say goodbye. I knew I had to do something and make them pay. I had to kill every one of those damn critters. So I got up before dawn and loaded up my truck with every weapon I had. Shotguns, rifles, pistols, knives, even a chainsaw. I didn't care what it took. I was gonna hunt them down and make them suffer. I drove to the cornfield, where I last saw them disappear, and got out of the truck and started walking through the rows of corn, looking for any sign of them. It was quiet, too quiet. I felt like they were watching me, waiting for the right moment to strike. But I wasn't afraid. I was angry. And I was ready. I fired my shotgun in the air, hoping to draw them out. It worked. I heard them screeching and hissing from all directions. They came running at me, their eyes glowing red and their teeth dripping with venom. I aimed and shot the first one in the head, splattering its brains all over the corn. Then I switched to my rifle and picked off 2 more that were coming from the left. I felt a sharp pain in my leg and looked down. One of them had bitten me, its fangs sinking deep into my flesh. I kicked it off and stabbed it with my knife, then grabbed my pistol and shot another one that was jumping at me from the right. I was surrounded, but I wasn't gonna give up. I reached for my chainsaw and revved it up, ready to cut them to pieces. I swung it at the nearest one, tearing it apart with a loud roar. I felt a surge of adrenaline and kept fighting, slashing and shooting at everything that moved. I didn't know how many there were, or how many I had killed. All I knew was that I had to avenge Jenny, or die trying. I don't know how long I fought for. It seemed like an eternity. I killed so many of them, but there were always more. They just kept coming, like a never-ending nightmare. I ran out of bullets and gas for my chainsaw, so I had to use my bare hands and knife. I ripped their throats out, gouged their eyes, stabbed their hearts. I felt their blood on my skin, their flesh in my mouth, their screams in my ears. I didn't care. I just wanted to avenge Jenny. But I was losing strength. I was bleeding from a dozen wounds, and I could feel the venom coursing through my veins. I started to see things that weren't there. Jenny's face, her voice, her touch. She was calling me, telling me to come with her. To leave this hell and join her in heaven. I wanted to, so badly. But I couldn't. Not yet. Not until I finished what I started. I saw one of them, the biggest one yet, the leader. He was standing in front of me, grinning wickedly with his man-beak face, taunting me and daring me to come at him. I roared and charged at it like a starving lion, ignoring the pain and the fatigue. I tackled him to the ground and we rolled over, punching and bit in each other. He was strong, but I was stronger. I was fueled by rage and love, and he was just a monster. I grabbed his head and slammed it against a rock, over and over, until he stopped moving. I ripped off its tentacles and held it in the air, feeling Jenny's presence. I had done it. I had killed them all. But it was too late for me. I felt my life fading away, and I knew I wouldn't make it. I lay down on the ground, staring at the sky. It was dusk, and the sun was setting. So beautiful. Maybe the most beautiful thing I ever saw. I smiled and closed my eyes, ready to join Jenny. But fate had other plans for me. I didn't die that day. Somehow, someone found me and took me to a hospital. They patched me up and pumped me full of drugs, saving my life, but they couldn't save my soul. I was a broken man, a shell of who I used to be without my Jenny. For more information on what happened to Jennifer Mara Tyler, please see the link in the description. Thank you for watching and please consider liking and subscribing for more content.